I just figured I would come in here and hang out at a live event, get people to start talking to me, interact, ask me questions, sort of get to know me a little bit of a more open interaction, seeing the weekly videos. So what I ask, because I have a hard time thinking of things to talk about when I'm the only one talking, is that here, just whatever questions you would like to me, or my abilities, or how I work, or anything along those lines. I don't actually give readings here in the live events, but I can talk about what to expect, or it's my great passion out today. So whatever questions you guys have, feel free to put it. I'll be happy to answer whatever I can for you. If there's something I know the answer to, I will gladly tell you I don't know the answer. I'm not somebody who tries to make up stuff on the fly, but I know a lot about psychic stuff, how it works. If you're new and you're just kind of realizing psychic abilities yourself, I would love. I know when I first started realizing I had psychic abilities, it took me out. It was the last I expected to start seeing about myself. I was a good Catholic girl, and of course, in the good Catholic church that I was in, I had been told that if you ever go, you would be doomed to go straight to hell. Do not pass go, do not collect $200, straight into the fire. So I never really thought that much about that I could possibly be a psychic, and when that's what was going on with me, it was pretty terrifying. I spent about 2 weeks wondering where I had made a deal with Satan and how do I not remember that. So I'm happy to answer any questions about people that are starting out on their psychic. Not that we all have the same fears. I don't believe the same fears, but it can be varied because your psychic is really don't know anybody around you that's psychic. And so friend Susie Q down the block, a couple of blocks. Tell her about what happened to me, see if she knows. Most of us can't do that. It's nice to be able to interact with someone else who's tuned in. Just waiting for you guys. I know I'm just kind of watching me. I'm just waiting for somebody to write me a question. So just whatever comes up is fine. If you want a good cornbread recipe, I might be able to do that. If you want to know how psychic stuff works, you can. If you want to know how I got started, if you want to talk about what's going on with you, it's all good. Only thing I'm not doing here is full-blown readings here. Anything else is a game for conversation. Who wants to know what? I know you guys have questions, or you wouldn't still. Let's see them. Because I'm running out of stuff to talk about. And I want to be here an hour. This is going to be if I sit here for an hour just hoping somebody types a question. This is your chance to get to know me. Get to know a little bit about me without having to pay for my time. I don't know that I remember your name from Aranum. Aranum, Honda. Is that on a limb? All alone. Let's talk about oil. What kind of oil? Are we talking about oil for fuel? Olive oil? Coconut oil? Coconut oil is actually quite amazing for health benefits. It's good for the skin, but it's also anti-inflammatory. So if you have arthritis, it's great to put coconut. If you have a gingivitis problem, it's fantastic. Swish maybe a little bit of that for a few minutes, and then you can either swallow it or spit it out. Totally, and it'll kill all that stuff that causes gingivitis in your mouth. Engine oils. Oh, well, hello there, Davy. Now I know who you are. The person who let your car run out of engine oil. Okay. You putting a lack of it in a certain engine. I should have known when I saw Honda Fanatic that would be you, Davy. So you're from the UK right now. 9:12 a.m. means it's let's 10, 11, 12 plus 4, 3. 3:15 where you are about, huh? Are you you're supposed to keep it in your car? Yeah, I think I'm gonna start doing these live screens kind of regular. It should have given anything about cars. I should have had a pretty good idea. Oh, I'm kind of in the side of my. Let me see if I can fix that. See about what's going on. So this is always interesting to try and fix the. Wait and see what happened. Live radiant. How like day. Well, you still have a car run out of it? Just, I thought I was. It smells hot. Thank you for asking, Live Radiant. I'm a breathing. My YouTube is going viral. My client base is expanding. My life is just good, good. More happy, more peaceful, more prosperous, and more joyful all the time. Plus, my relationships are getting better every single day. Thank you for asking. Out is Davy. The impression you blew it up when you first. I still have to get all my technicalities down for these live events. Let's see, Davy. I think you're the first one who came in. Me. Do you want a card today, honey? I know Mazdas are really good. Mazda when I was stationed over Bitburg, European version of a Mazda. I had a 323 back in. I can spin if you would like to get a reading. We can definitely. These are different. Delta. Reach me on my website. Which kind of reading works better for you, honey? Question reading. If you have a few than that, like 3 or 4 questions, you might want a 30-minute live. You want the magical mystery berry. Okay. Now Mazda, I think. I've always had good luck with them. And then I had a Mazda truck back here in the States that it ran until my husband at the time got tired of it. Okay, Davy. Your card. Oh, wow. Okay, so one card. Let me check something real quick here while I'm doing this because I want to make sure you can see the card. Okay. Alright, so that's better. So you have the moon card. And the moon card, there's something going on right now in your life that you can tell that there's going on than just what you know. You have enough details to know that there's more going on beneath the surface. Do you recognize that situation in your life today, Mr. Dave? She is looking kind of creepy, isn't she? You guys are make sense? Yeah. Does anybody have questions about your own psychic stuff that's kind of coming out? That maybe you don't really have anybody else to ask these questions? I love mentoring psychic. That's really my passion. Would you like to have a card today, honey? I like your little smiling chickadee. That's cute. I can say whatever I want to say in here, Davey. I'm not limited like when I do other chat rooms. In fact, I'm not so much of the other ones anymore. Ouch. Okay, so let's see. Live Radiant. Undercard. I don't know what you mean. What I'm trying to do is give you the full more, honey. The Live Radiant. You got the Two of Wands for the camera so you can see the whole thing. Like when I see the Two of Wands, what this tells me is that today you're really dealing with a situation where good place. This is really looking over those people or those situations that you influence and considering whether you're doing what you really want to do um, in your influence. Are you having the effect that you want to have? So if you have children, like, are you empowering your children? Are you helping forward? This type of thing. So this can be anywhere. This can be in your family, in work. This is really talking about you, the effect that you. And when I refresh, it's fine, honey. Okay, so live your card. Spin. Please show me the card number 8 from the bottom up. Why do you want to see cards? Talk to me. Talk to me. Whenever I'm running this, makes sense. Thank you for the verification. Whenever I'm running a live event, I pick the card. it's it's my discretion. So, you know, whenever you're pulling cards for other people, you get to pick the card, but not here. Okay, Davey, calm down. Well, I'm not. There's a couple of ways to run one of these, and if I would like, but I'm doing it a little bit more high tech, just because Google Hangout take a shot from the top camera, which gives you a real nice view of my stomach and my torso, which is exactly ideal. So since I use an HD camera that is located in a different place, I decided I had to get a little bit more high tech so that you guys can have an appropriate picture of me. That is so awesome, Spin. That's You just see an error occurred. I don't know what that's all about. This is only my son. That's all I can tell you. So let's see. Da, 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 da. All right. So I don't know if I'm in Google Hangouts right now or not. So let's see. I've given Davey a card, and then Live Radiance had a card. Spin, you're up next for a card. Would you like to have a card of the day, honey? It's like a 30 or 40 second. I'm having a hard time getting used to that. That's awesome. Is your birthday tomorrow, Davey? Okay. What do you need? What's your deck spin? I feel like you need a green tree spin, so I'm going to get you one out of my green tree deck. Very cool. Which reader was that? Coming right up. Oh, spin. Tell me something, honey. Are you female or are you male? I'm thinking that you're female, but let's see. Oh, awesome. That's cool. Born the day after. What a great late Father's Day gift. You see that, Davey? So here's what you have. Well, wait, let me look at my other place for my camera to see if I can get this in front of the camera. All right. So, yep, what you have is you have the ancestor. And the ancestor is telling me, Spin, you are being drawn into what I call the universe. So this just is what I consider the secrets of the universe. Anything really spiritual that influences, but that we don't talk about in school. So what I'm seeing is that your curiosity is deeper and deeper and deeper into these types of things. It's a very cool card, actually. So do you recognize it in life right now? Dave, everything, don't you? All I see is flowers on Spin's picture. Yeah, I know. It's like there's like a 30-second time or 40-second delay all the time. Yeah, I'm that delay. Frustrating thing for me. You dropped it down to 480 to keep it coming in. Why you're having to do that? Because I have kick butt. That fixed it? Good, good, good. A couple of places too, so I decided to shut this. We'll see if that helps. Okay, so Spin, you haven't told me. Did that actually ring true for you? Not sure if Spin is. I can't tell who. I know if it was lagging, some people probably got frustrated and left. Indifferent Sky, are you still here? Would you like a card? Hey Willow Lake, how you doing, darling? I never did see your comment show up on my blog. I still have you as a authorized contributor. Never showed up in my private business. You heard only partial? Okay, so the card that you got tells me, Spin, that today you're feeling really curious. Universe have to do with like the metaphysical, ESP, psychic, the occult, all of that kind of good stuff. The law of attraction, even secret of the universe. These are things that impact our world, but we're not taught about it at school. And see your curiosity drawn further into what I call the secrets of the universe. So does that sound about right to you, honey? No, it's not dark willow. Oh, send me your email address again, if you can, either on Skype or an email, or text it, either one, and then I'll resend that for you. Because that thought came to my mind at first. Yep, yep, yep. So let's see. That was Spin's card. Let's see who talked to me next in here, and we'll offer them a card. Had one. Live has had one. I and this up with the topics and the conversation. So you guys have to help me. You're obligated if you're in the room to help me. And besides, I'm going to throw my website up there. Little public service style. Because of course I love to do readings. That's my big. You always like this kind of curiosity. Yeah, it's kind of funny because a lot of times come up spin for somebody who's just starting to get curious, but I really didn't have that feeling about you, that you're just getting drawn. Leave comments. That means everybody in here's already had a card. This is fun doing this live. It's a lot of fun. I wish there was less delay. That's the only thing. That I could see your comments as quick as you guys could write them. And that I could just give you the answers really quickly. Some Willow. Thank you. It's my passion. I had somebody come to the door yesterday, and she was just trying to get some points getting a scholarship, like $1,000 scholarship, and she was older. She already, so like a midlife, going back to school, improving herself thing. And I just started immediately getting stuff. Was your father crying? Because I started getting stuff about her father right away. So I waited till she was done with, and then I started talking to her about her dad and different things he had to say, and how old she was when he passed away, which turned out to be right on, and how she had 3 boys, which turned out to be right on. Advice that he had a boy, and that all fit and made sense, and it was fantastic. I think that's the first time that I've just spontaneously done that without really focusing, to just let spirit come through. It was wonderful. Oh, such a great question, Jean. How do you know if it's intuition or ego? Awesome, awesome question. When I first was getting started, I was asking the same thing of myself. Sometimes I would be saying, well, maybe. The answer to that really is practice. Practice listening. Practice listening to what does ego sound like and what does intuition sound like. The more you practice, it feels different, but it feels different at a very subtle level. So that's all I can really tell you. There's not any kind of rule of thumb. A lot of times they're into as ego. Not always, but a lot of times. Wow, I just realized my mic is down. I don't know how you guys are hearing me. Let me put that down. I bet you that's a little better. But practice, practice, practice. See you in a minute, Davey. If there's any other way to really know. Davey, quit cussing it. I'm back. Okay. So I used to ask myself a lot if what I was hearing was what I wanted to hear or actually was useful information. Yeah. So the thing is that you have to realize that it just takes practice, wherever it comes in, whether it's a voice or sensation or whatever. You kind of have to pay attention to how it comes in, how does it feel, how does it sound, and start to learn which one is ego and intuition. Just because, whenever you follow those things that are coming in, whether it's ego or intuition, there's always reason. If we're following that, the results are so good. But if we're following the intuition, results will generally turn out better. So it's all about, in the Bible, how you know a tree by its fruit. So what kind of fruit you're getting, and then when you look at your actions, then it's important to look back and think about, well, how did that feel when I was getting that thought? How did that feel to me as it was coming in? And then you can really, does it feel like when it's ego? And that's how you really get good at knowing the difference. But it's all totally practice. So did you hear that this time? It could be Spirit Willow. I have had Spirit interrupt my camera before, and I've had Spirit do some other things with electronic. Spirit will mess with our audio devices to give us a message. My significant other, he used to mess with my CD player all the time. He would make that song skip until I would literally down and listen to the words of that song. Yes, yes, it is practice there. It says once you know the difference between ego and intuition, and as you learn the difference between ego and intuition, you learn that intuition. And intuition, once you know intuition, you just trust what you get. That's how things work out. And if you fall off the path, then you just pick yourself back up and get back on it. Whatever links we want, Honda. When I do tarot readings, I make the starting base point to help Spirit really focus me in on what the client needs to hear. And sometimes Spirit can be kind of cantankerous. I have had one or two asked questions, and Spirit gave me nothing to do with those questions at all. Because Spirit was like, nope, this is what we want to talk about. I'll look at the cards and I'll kind of get a general idea of what's going on. And then I just let myself dig around in that energy psychically more. So the cards are kind of an off point. It's kind of like when you go swimming. You're quite welcome, Jean. Thank you. I appreciate all the great questions. The questions help me have something to talk about here, and I want to be helpful in this time with you all. So this is wonderful. So let's see. While I'm waiting for the next awesome question to come in, Jean, would you like me to give you one of the day? This is going to be a very current situation. If it hasn't happened within the past 24 hours, it'll happen within the next 24 hours. Question, Willow. Okay. So let's see. Which deck should I pull? I think you need a precision card today. I feel like I've got popcorn stuck on my lip, guys. Sorry. Willow Lake numerology, if I remember right, has to do with healing, a healer. So if I'm seeing 444 when I'm thinking about my, I would say that you things to help him heal, or you're just suggesting that you look for things to do to help him heal. It is. It's live. Okay, so this is Jean. Wait, let me get my other camera up. I got another see on live to make sure you can see this. I'm showing, and when the page of coins comes in reverse, this just means a message about more about financial resources today. And this message is going to be where you're going to be spending more money than you were planning on, or you were some money that you weren't planning on spending. That's the type of message that we're talking about. Do you recognize he has researched the heck out of angel numbers? It's a really good resource to use her website. I like to go there when I start seeing triples. Excuse me, but popcorn's driving me crazy. Sorry, guys. Excuse me while I answer this text. Okay, so you're quite welcome to questions like that. Questions. Well, thanks. I've had a lot of practice at this the last few for 3 years, 3-hour job, and I went full time with this March of. Okay, so Willow, let's see. You need a green tree today. I have 4 decks to choose from, so the first thing when you guys tell me that you want a card is I sense which deck is the best one to pull from for you. Of course, Davy. You'll be an interesting read, honey. I don't think I'll have to give hers, though. Willow Lake's card coming up. Davy, you want a reading about girls? Okay, so Willow Lake, what you have, wait, let me pull my other camera thing up. I'm learning my deck. Really what this is talking about, though, is extremely right now. So you've got a lot of things, a lot of everything work together, and you're making it right for you, Will. Well, yeah, I cycle through my decks. I like to keep about 4 decks on the table. I'm always learning one deck, and then I've always got very comfortable with in front of me. And then when I get ready to buy a new deck, I usually pass along an old deck to somebody else. Not girls, you've had enough being stalked. A woman, not a girl. I gotcha. Molly, welcome. Glad to see you in the room, honey. Thank you. Timing is tricky. And so I try to, okay, so let me give you a little information than what you're asking for so that you can understand my answer a little better, Molly. Whenever a psychic is dealing with time, the only thing that can trip a psychic up, if you trip a psychic up, is free will. Okay? You're welcome, Willow. So, because free will can change. Somebody's free will, like whenever I do the energy just as it lays right now. And somebody who touches any of the situations that I read, if they have something that changes their perspective, that changes the way they interact with a situation, in other words, their free will changes, that can be the whole chain of events and even the outcome of the situation. So that's the thing that can really trip a psychic up. The only thing, if you have a good psychic. I'm getting distracted because my camera, but anyway, so free will can trip a psychic up. So what you want to do when you're looking at time, the further out in time you go, the more you're allowing the chance of free will to come in and change your prediction. So I like to be as accurate as I possibly can. So what I like to do is I like to try to limit my predictions to within the next 2 years. Now, if somebody asks me a question about something that's further out than that, that'll come up, but that's not normally looking to go about 2 years out. If we have to go further to find out what a final outcome will be, then I will, but generally I'm shooting for 2 years or less. Okay? So that's how far I see. The other thing, I mean, this question is so great because there's so much stuff involved in the asked Molly. So that's how far ahead I try to see. Now, the other thing is, when somebody, I know if my boyfriend is going to contact me back and I tell him, yes, I believe that he is, this is what's going on, this is what you can expect when, and then they say, well, when is this going to happen? And say that I come up with a time frame. Say that your ex is going to, say that I tell this person to contact you back in 4 months. Well, now law of attraction, the minute that you give someone a time frame, you're already kicking in more momentum with timing being tricky. But as far as timing, I finally have, I mean, a lot of time over the calendar to see, like if I get a general idea of when I think somebody's going to be coming back in, then I might look over, say if it's 4 months from now, well now it's June, so I'll go July, August, September, October. I'll take my pendulum to October and I'll pinpoint exactly what date we're talking about that this person would be contacting back. So, like I said though, then you've still got law of attraction stuff, drawing that stuff in. So that was a fantastic question. So let's, thank you so much, guys. I think the last card I gave out was for Willow Lake. And I'm just going to throw my website out here for those of you who would be interested in checking me out and getting a reading with me sometime. Okay, so yes, yes, many times people do want pinpoints on time. Lavender is what you get a job, Honda fanatic. I gave him his car. I was like, wow, be nice. Okay, you have is the King of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. Oh, Molly. Okay, so what I'm seeing here, Molly, is you have a protector. I'm just feeling around. This feels like a father figure, so this could be a dad, a grandpa, an uncle, a mentor, a teacher, or hard time, Molly. And so this person crossed over feels really raised you. Maybe that's why it would feel like a dad or a grandpa, because I'm not your head on which one exactly. But this person feels very protective with me to negotiate the first card that I. So I asked him if he would take 300, and the guy looked at me like I was crazy. It was actually a good, nice, reliable car. And my dad was, don't. I could see him shaking his head before the words came out of my mouth. Don't. That would be, because I was thinking it's either your dad or it's your grandpa that raised you. Dad. That's awesome to have. Thank you for the verification. Okay, so who else has some good questions? Who else wants to know stuff about how does this psychic, our new psychic abilities or rediscovered psychic abilities? I know when I first started psychic abilities, it scared the crud out of me. I didn't have anybody there for a while, so that was really tough. That sounds like a sweet car when you mash the gas. Pinned to the seat. I have this thing about living. Usually when I need downtime, I'm actually, but I'm talking to them for myself. So I wouldn't say that I for downtime, but that's a really great question. I am pretty good about my intention set knows when I want to be in communication and when I want to be doing my own thing. So it's not like I walk around hearing stuff about complete strangers. I really read the information is something that I need to know to keep my own self safe or some kind of little edge or, about maybe, sometimes I'll get instructions of, walk on that. Maybe I bump into somebody that it turns out to be an opportunity to bump into that person, that type of information. But I never really let it down. I think that we share our space with spirit, and I like being in communication with them all the time. So, they really help me. Like if I need downtime, if I'm feeling, is usually me out of that. So I never really shut them out. Do have a lot of support from friends and family about what some more friends I have who also. So Skype has become a big deal for me. I Skype with people, a couple of different Canada. There's a Native American medicine woman there that I Skype with a lot, Mooney Quay. Someone else, Brenda Gagnon, who's right here on YouTube she's under Brenda Tarot. I actually mentored her. She has her own psychic abilities. I didn't have to help her with that, but I did say, hey, how come you're not helping? But we're not in the same place like we used to, so we're not able to mutually support each other in the ways that we used to before. Things change. When you become a psychic, your whole perspective changes dramatically, and so where you're coming from changes. So, and I do have, and I've known her since 1991. She's still my best friend. She doesn't understand everything, all the changes that I've made over time. And so we can always pick up the phone and talk to each other no matter how long it's been since last time we've talked, and we've got plenty to talk about, and we get each. She's and I have never been real close. I was always kind of the black sheep of my family growing up, and so I actually ended up moving away from them because they at my self-esteem from a distance. Really understand that I introduced my father to the idea that I do this type of stuff was I actually had a visitation from my grandpa early on, and my grandpa died when I was 16, and he asked me specifically on certain information to my father. And so I called up my dad, and Dad, didn't offer any kind of judgment. He was actually for the message, and he's never offered any kind of judgment, although at the same time I'm pretty sure he just doesn't really understand. Your psychic power are weird at the moment, so things like naming songs access randomly. That's pretty cool, Honda. That's the first of stuff. And you can practice, and a lot of my loved ones from the other side, Willow Lake. Just at different times. Significant other, well, my previous significant other who passed away years ago now, I know. Yeah. And anybody can hear from their loved ones, and as long as we're open to those messages, a lot of times our loved ones are trying to communicate. Oh, thank you, Willow. I think this does help people to know me a little bit better and to figure out, well, would I trust that person to start with my questions and come back with nice, solid, accurate answers? Do they have the type of integrity, So I'm out here just to make myself available for people to see what's up, and as well as mentoring. I love mentoring, so if I can mentor a new psychic, that is just fantastic. So, really win-win situation here. Well, I wasn't so brave actually, especially about passing along. My grandpa was thrilled to hear from him. I really told my dad because I had told my grandpa that I would, and I knew grandpa wanted me to. Had nothing to do with had everything to do with not wanting to let my grandpa down. But is start looking for some meetups in your area. Go to meetup.com and look for some meetups in your area where they talk either spiritual development circles or psychic development circles, because those are great places to practice, but not practice. Go get the other people who are like you, who are developing their abilities. Some of them are going to be beginners. Some of them are going to be like me. And that gives you a chance to meet some mentors and some people that you can talk to about finances. And it just gives some company along this, doing it all by yourself. Yeah. You got to start working somewhere for practice once you get to that level, but it doesn't have to necessarily be there, Davy. Okay, so let can be tricky. Only one. I think I gave you one before. Well, I'll go practice, and if I'm totally, and if the reading turns out well, I'll have to consider the fact that maybe ESP or something going on here. Very cool. Very Hello there, Liz. It's a message from so-and-so, or I'm feeling so-and-so. What's going on is we really are, but our culture teaches us to not take that so seriously or not think about that. So um, I would say that if you're having that sensation that your grandmother is around you, I would say she is. Oh yeah, we'll go to meetups and practice abilities. Have fun with it because like tarot cards whenever I'm doing my private, but at the meetups it's straight. And well, then you're just going to have to imagine the wonderful sounds that you're going to make, Dave. Hello there, Tiffany. Because I'm very psychic self-defense, and I can help you a little bit. What I do for psychic self-defense, if you want, Tiffany, and this is going to be the last question I answer before I take off for the day. Hello there, Adam. So, for those of you who are new, who are just getting into the spiritual stuff, thing to know when you start walking around in that spirit, whatever senses you walk around in it, is you do want to do some psychic self-defense, because as in the world you meet people who have good intentions and you meet people who don't have intentions. When you're talking to entities on the other same way, you have entities intentions and you have entities that have not so great intentions. So you want to do as well, and I like that. I like even, but you don't have to are self-defense, and you can always Google psychic protection and find what works for you. You don't have to do it just like what I do. You're quite welcome, Jean. So here is what I like to do. I like to do visualization / meditation. The more you do this, it's going to take a couple of minutes. All right, I'll be looking forward to it, Willow Lake. Thank you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be not paying attention to comments because I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to walk through this undistracted. You guys are welcome as you would like, or as little as you would like, whatever. But here it is for your use if you want it. So for my psychic self-defense, what I like to do, I like to put myself in a little visualization / and I like to visualize God's wonderful, beautiful, bright, white surrounding me and enveloping me. And in that light, there is. But for me, so this is this beautiful, bright, white surrounding me. And in this white light, I am picturing glory, God's healing, God's generosity, everything negative, anxiety, any tension is coming out of me as I'm breathing out. As I'm breathing in, I'm bringing in all of God's glory, etc. Coming in, each breath is bringing in some that is coming in and depositing every single cell of my body. I'm envisioning every single cell of my body filling up with all of these good God attributes and all of this light. Soon, for any negative anymore. And if it hasn't already all been breathed out of me, now it's all being pushed out of my cells, my pores, it is just coming complete. It's overflowing out of my body. And this is where it's other people around me, because as it's overflowing out of me, people are coming in contact with God's light, with all those beautiful things that come in contact with me. And what I imagine is that as this overflows and as I'm breathing out now, there's no negative left in there. The only thing that's coming out is that light is, because there's nothing else in me. And as this is coming out, as I'm breathing out, and as this is pouring out of my pores, filling up that whole room that I'm in with God's great light. And I'm filling up the whole building and the whole block. And you can take that out as far as you want to. And what happens when you fill your space with all of this light is that nothing now can stand in you, in your space, anywhere around you, stand in God's light. Once you have this assurance, even if you see something or hear something or feel something that's prepared for something, or you can divert something, then you still know that that message is for your own good. And how can I use this to improve around me or improve my situations? So that's the key. That's live stream here. Everybody understand? Are there any questions about what I just walked you through as far as the psychic self-defense? No. There you go. See, there's lots of different ways to serve yourself, but you definitely have to do your psychic self-defense. It's just like brushing your teeth. Your teeth all your life, you have to brush your teeth. If you want to keep yourself in a safe place when you're working in spirit, you do your psychic self-defense. You're Molly. What I love to do. I'm going to put up my my website one more time for those of you who would like to check. I love mentoring new people. My second passion is doing readings for people and helping people. So I'm always happy to do more. And I don't have a really long waiting list. Usually if somebody contacts me, I can get to them like that same day or the next day. You know, check me out. You're quite welcome, Brenda. Glad to see you in the room, by the way. So that was the last one. I'm giving you guys a little bit more time because I know there is a time delay here to see if you type in for me about doing that psychic self-defense. And then if there's no questions about that, then I'm going to be taking off for the day. I'll give it later. But I think it's like half. Oh, you do? Well, thank you. I appreciate everybody who subscribes and who shares. That's so wonderful. It gets me out into the world, and then I get to do more readings, which, you know, readings. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Brenda. I appreciate that. Hello, like, don't forget to send me your email so that I can send that to you again for the blog thing. You're a Libra. You're a fairness person. Thank you, Jean. Okay, I had about a minute to respond back. I haven't seen any new questions about the meditation / visualization I did you. So it is me to go the rest of my life hanging out. I appreciate it so much. And I will see you another time. Hopefully I'll be doing readings for many of you soon. And if not you, for people that you know and you love. Everyone have a week. Peace out.